This is Synthesis TV, keeping you on the edge of technology and business.
A very good evening to you. I'm Howard Feldman, and we are coming to you live from a Synthesis Hackathon. It sounds weird. I have no idea what a hackathon is really until a couple of years ago when I was first introduced to the concept. And then COVID hit us and we couldn't get together. So it's been a couple of years that Synthesis has not been able to get together for a hackathon. Joining me this evening is Chart Duplessis, and he is in fact the driver of the hackathon. How are you feeling right now?
Right now, still good.
Still good?
So we're going to push through the night. So
Wait. Let's just check the time. What is it? It's actually 9:25 in the evening, and the guys have been at it since?
Yeah, since I think 1 o'clock.
Right.
So far, energy is still there. I can see it starts fading.
Yes.
Especially with the older guys, like me.
And me. Yeah.
So, I think it will probably get hard.
Yes.
Around 12 o'clock.
Right. But that's when we've got some fun things organized. But let's just, to understand, what is a hackathon?
So I think people use it for different purposes. For Synthesis, it's definitely more of a team build. It's a nice event to get together. But the aim is always to build something quickly. And it's where you throw maybe caution to the wind. Like you don't ask questions like, can this work or what if? And you just build it. You just build it and you see what happens. You don't have to worry about regulation. You don't have to worry about security. So it's maybe amazing to see if you just focus on the value and you get a concept out. And that's why it's called a hackathon. You know, it's a bit dirty.
And you like hack things together.
Yeah,
really.
With duct tape. And
right,
so
because people often think of a hackathon as we're going to sit here and try and break into other people's.
Yes.
It's not that. You're not hacking into something.
Not that at all.
You're hacking together.
Hacking together, yeah. The word hacking is confused sometimes. I think that people think of cracking, which is really trying to crack and break into something.
Right.
But hacking can be taking things apart as well. You know, trying to understand something new before you build it. So it's just a nice term to do some bit of what we sometimes call cowboy coding.
Coding, that's actually quite
hack
fun
it together,
well.
quick and dirty, just to see, what's the value of the idea.
So we've got 15 teams. 15 teams have got together. They all are each working on a different idea.
Yes.
How did those ideas come about?
So about a week or two before the hackathon, we start creating a vibe inside the company, and we get people to give us ideas. And it can be anything. And I think that's the fun about it. It's just guys thinking of random ideas. It's a pretty safe space. You can think of anything. And then people play off each other's ideas. The one guy might say, hey, what about we build a food app for ingredients? And the other guy said, yes, you can take a picture of your fridge. And then you build these ideas on top of each other. And it's just to collaborate, like throwing ideas around to see where we get. And then we sort of vote and try and choose the best ones.
Right. And what are some of these ideas?
So there's one that's trying to analyze financial statements from listed companies. And you can think how cool that could be if you can have almost a scraper that goes and looks at all these different companies' websites, their press releases, get those financial statements. And you need to use all sorts of interesting technologies to get the text out of it, to interpret it, maybe some AI, and then pull it together in cool reports like what is the overall view of all the JSE listed companies and their financials and reporting. That's one. We have some games out there. A lot of guys are trying to use some kind of service from AWS, for example, image recognition, facial recognition. I know there are some food apps trying to do some interesting things with ingredients and taking pictures of your fridge. That's
incredible. I saw one as well that is trying to crack the whole timesheet story.
Oh, yes,
which is always
definitely.
An issue because timesheets are obviously important because how do you build customers?
Yes.
How do you build customers honestly? You don't want to overcharge them.
Exactly.
You want to make sure that people are fully utilized. Those things are important, but people hate that. They hate filling in timesheets. It makes them feel like factory workers. It's just a horrible thing. We might recognize it as a necessary evil, but or necessary item, but it's still not pleasant. And I see that at least two of the teams are working on different ideas. And I thought that was really amazing, because if you can crack that, find a solution to that, you've really done something.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I think there's two angles that they're trying. So the one is trying to scrape all sorts of data, because can't we automate this, right? Look at your emails, even look at, the kind of work you do. If you're a coder, you have to commit your code back in. So everything you're doing, is there in unstructured data. Can you read that data out and automatically fill out a timesheet? It will be much more accurate, and no one has to do that admin. And I see the other guys are trying to just make the entry process easier. Can you use voice notes? Can you just quickly say, I'm starting a task, and we're listening on an app, and we translate that into
so project. It becomes painless. All you do is just say, starting working on X bank now. Finished working on them.
So there's those two angles that I've seen guys do that.
The kudos one is also quite interesting, where the company, where they're looking at recognition within a company.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's very cool. I mean, how do you get recognition out there? And I think they're also trying to use like NFT and some of the new blockchain kind of stuff to assign kudos. And I think that could be quite interesting, and maybe something you can put on the blockchain for everyone to use.
Amazing. It really is just a phenomenal thing. And what's fascinating to me as a non-technical person is how inspired and how inspiring this is for people who are driven by tech.
Absolutely. It's just, you feel technology. If you walk in here, I think you get that garage vibe of someone's building something new. And that vibe is really good. It is an inspiring vibe. That's exactly what it is.
And what's nice as well, what I like about it is, I think to some extent, it reminds people, because I think all of us in all of our days, there are things that we do, things that inspire us, things that we just we know we've just got to get to. But I think this is almost 24 hours where developers are reminded, I think, about what they love, about what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, you feel achievement because you're building something and you can see it, right?
It's incredible.
A lot of the times when you work on projects, there's a lot of planning that has to go into it. There's a lot of security that has to go into it. You can't always get to the beef of the problem early and quickly. So that's.
And I guess here as well, you're not. I mean, it sounds weird, but you're not constrained by the customer. By their budget and by their requirements.
Yes.
You actually, it's almost like, it's freestyle.
It's freestyle. I think that's definitely great. It's just, you can do what you want, and what you think and the way you think. And I think in the end, you actually learn a little bit about the customer, because you're building a product now for yourself. You are the customer.
So you've actually, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So you get to see like how difficult is it to come up with a new product. So I think there's.
Well, it was actually interesting because you referred to one of the teams building this thing about recipes, where you input a recipe and it orders the ingredients, or that it determines what ingredients you need. And what I found interesting is whenever I walked past there, they were talking to people and just asking about their habits and their lifestyle. And so what they were doing, and I really loved that, is that they were engaging with the problem.
Exactly.
They were trying to determine what all the problems were. And I thought that was very, very interesting for me.
That's great to see. To see. And it's almost, the hackathon, I think, goes through the full software delivery life cycle in 24 hours. You start with defining the problem, planning, drawing it out, getting some user feedback. So it puts all of that work into 24 hours, and it's a great experience, because some guys maybe drop into a project, it started a long time ago, so they didn't experience that beginning stage. And here at the hackathon, you experience the whole schlep.
So you head of digital at Synthesis. Does the hackathon require you to look at all areas of it? Does it require somebody who's in another area to cross reference.
Definitely. I think that's another great part of it. The teams come together and there's different skills. There might be a solutionist skill. There might be someone with more of a graphics skill and cloud, and someone that's more into hardcore coding. And they all have to come together, and you're forced to learn other things. And that's also great. You experience how other divisions who sometimes work in isolation maybe are now like right in front of you. So I think that's you have to do that. You're forced to work across.
Absolutely incredible. Chart, thank you. You've been one of the main drivers of the hackathon. It's an incredible amount of work. I don't think people realize the amount of work that goes into it. The identifying of ideas, getting the teams together, making sure that teams are fairly balanced, and that they're balanced in a way that they can produce magic, which is all what this is about. So thank you, well done. And we will of course update through a little bit later. In fact, tomorrow morning we're going to be doing some of the judging. We're going to be talking to some of the teams, getting a sense of how they are doing. But this really is just the most incredible evening. And I hope that we were able in this conversation to bring you just a little sense of how a hackathon works. I'm Howard Feldman, chatting to you from the Synthesis Hackathon 2022.